Okay, I'm going to give you a tour of the Cades Cove Campground in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. This is the Cades Cove Campground. And the first section we're going to go through is the B section. And we're going to turn right here after you go past the registration place and pay or check in. You don't really pay. You should have paid for them ahead of time. Anyways, we're going to go through the B section. I'm going to try to give a narrative of that section. There's several rows in the B section, and the first driveway on your left is where it starts. And I will tell you this, B1 and B3, everything on the odd side of this loop has the bigger, longer pads, and they're more level. The stuff on the right side of B1, let's see, like B2, 4, 6, 8, the even side of this first road are shorter sites. So if you've got a camper, you might want to book something on the left-hand side of this first B row. I'm just now passing B7. Then they got like an oddball. This is A4. Well, it's a handicapped. Most of the stuff on the left side is pretty level. Some of the stuff on the right side of this first row is not. There is a bathhouse on this row and a dumpster. You can see these campers on my left seem to be pretty level. Some of these guys that are on the unlevel sites have got their stabilizers jacked all the way up. Anyways, we're going to come to the stop sign and make a right-hand turn and go into the next row. It's a little bit lengthy video. I'll probably break this up into two videos, this being the B section. Okay, here we are in the second row of the B section, and we're at the high end of the numbers here. B20 being on your right-hand side are evens, and on the left-hand side are odds. Now, what I'm seeing here, these sites are shorter, a few of them are longer, but they are way out of level. People even got 4x4 blocks under their stabilizer jacks. And there's a couple tent spots here. You want to be careful what you book. B24 is a tent spot. B26 is a tent spot. There's really no place to back a trailer in. B28 is really short, only enough room for one vehicle. B25. Now this is it's also short. This is the generator section, so if you're running a generator, you got to live with this. Now when you get up here to B32, which is this one right here, as you can see, he's having a little bit of trouble there. So these sites on the second row are not very level if you've got a travel trailer and you're trying to level it. I see these stabilizers are really, really jacked up. This is the generator section. B36, yeah, B38, they're all really unlevel. Yeah. Anyways, if you've got a travel trailer and you got issues with leveling it, then I would watch about staying on the second row, which would be B20 through B42, it looks like. Okay, we're gonna make a left-hand turn here. These roads are all one way in the B section. I think the C section's the same way. And we're on the third row, okay? And this starts out with B43 on the left. Now things change here. No, they don't change. So B43 is pretty level. B45 is pretty level. B46 is a tent site. B48 is not level. B47 is. Now you're in the shade back here on this third row, so if you're doing solar, you might have a little bit of issue with solar. B49 is pretty level. B52 and 54 are tent sites. B51 is not bad. They're shorter sites now, B53 and B56. These are all fairly level back through here in this row. 58, 57 is not very level. 60 is not bad. 59 is not bad. 62 is really short. Most of these are not bad. I see some of the people backed off the gravel. There's no concrete bumpers to keep you from doing that back here on this row. Anyways, that's the third row of the B section. Now we're going to go over here to the fourth row. I believe this is the last row of this section. Now we're on the fourth row. Okay, we are starting with B69 and 70. They're not bad. 72 is kind of short. There are some tent camping only sites back here. 74 is not very level. 73 is short. 76 is real short. They're backed off the back of the pad. 75 is a tent camping site. 77 is tent camping. 78 is short, but you can back up off the pad there. They don't have a concrete bumper on it. So if you got a travel trailer and you want to stay back here, it's not too bad. And some of these spots are pretty good for solar, I think, in the afternoon, like going from 80 on up, but it's awful unlevel there. Not sure what's going on with that. I think some of these people have a little bit of trouble figuring out level for their trailers. We have one handicap site back here, it looks like. That would be A5. A5 is a handicap site. B79 is not too bad. Quite a bit of sun there in the afternoon for solar. B81, it's got solar sun there too. B84 is not bad. They're pretty level. 85 and 86 are short sites. Okay, that's going to do it for the B section. So we're going to go right back out here and end this video. And we're going to do another video just for the C section. The C section is no generators, and it's a lot different over there than over here. I think some of those sites might be a little shorter. We'll go have a look. Anyways, thanks for coming along. I hope this helped you determine where you wanted to stay in the Cades Cove Campground, which site you wanted to get on. If you have any questions about that, just go ahead and leave me a comment if you would, and I'll try to answer that. I stay over here a couple times a year, so I'm pretty familiar with the campground. The general store is right here across from the registration, or the store, the camp store is. They got some killer ice cream in there. If you like ice cream, you need to get some of that. The store is open from 9 to 5. Registration, I believe, closes at 9 to 5. Quiet time is from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Thanks for coming along. I hope this helped you. Here we are in the C section of the Cades Cove Campground. And these sites aren't too bad here. C3, C4 is a good travel trailer site. There's not a lot of sun there. C5's really unlevel. Okay, C6 is really unlevel. C7 is really unlevel. C8 is a tent site only. And C9 is level, but it's kind of short and it's got concrete bumpers behind it. That's the first row. The dump station's back here also, just across from C10, be aware, and C11. I'm gonna turn this camera just a little bit to the left. That way you get a better view as I'm driving. I'm driving on this one, I'm not walking. So this first row has got the high numbers on it. Looks like it's numbered from back to the front. So right here we are at C29, and it's pretty level. C30 is not real level, but you could back up off the gravel. C32 is short and right next to the bathhouse, or the shower facility, yeah, the bath facility. C31 is really level. It's a pretty nice site there. C31 might be one I want to stay in. These aren't too bad back here. They're pretty level. C35 is pretty good. Yeah, this whole row here is not too bad. It's pretty level. C40. So if you don't have a generator, looks like the C sites are quite a bit better. In fact, it looks to me like they may have added some concrete slabs back here. Now C43 and C44 down at this other end, they're not very level, okay? Just be aware of that. We're gonna make a right-hand turn. And then you got some tent sites, be aware of that. I can't see these numbers here. C28 and C27 are strictly, and C26 are strictly tent sites on the end of the row. So be aware of that, okay? And now we're down on this other row, the next row over, where C45 is. C45 is pretty level up here. I'm gonna turn that camera just a little bit so you can see. C45 is level, but it looks like it's probably like a tent site, but you could put a small travel trailer in there. Now there's a lot of trees back here, so when the foliage is out, I doubt you get much solar. C47 is really nice and level. C46 is pretty nice and level. 49 is nice. And C48's handicapped. So most of these sites have older concrete. C50 is handicapped. But then you get down here like C53, it's not very level. C52 is actually pretty nice. It's nice and level. C55 is not that level. 57's okay. 59's okay. C54. Now some of these got their fire pits pretty far from the gravel, the concrete slab, like C56 and C60. It's not that bad. C56 is pretty nice. Most of these have a tent platform behind them. These all have concrete bumpers on them, so you can't back off the gravel. And we're in the C section of Cades Cove Campground. This is the non-generator section. C13 is a half circle site. You could probably put a travel trailer in there, but they're probably made for tent camping. C14. And then we're going to go down the third row, which is C62 is the high end of this. Okay. Turn this camera back to the left a little. You can't, these got concrete bumpers behind them, so they're kind of short sites, mainly for tent camping, I guess. C66 is pretty nice. C68 is really out of level. So is C67. C70 is not bad. C69 is kind of out of level. 72 is level. 71. The ones on the right-hand side of this loop are kind of out of level, but they are short sites. C75. They're not made for big campers, that's for sure. You can bring a small camper in here, a little 16-footer or so, and put in here. Now, there's some sites on the end right here. I'll get to those just before we leave. this area. There's a couple campers in it. There's one right here, so it's an in-site. Now that would be pretty nice to camp in if you don't want to use a generator. Nope, they got concrete bumpers there. C22 is short, but it's level. And C21 is a real nice site if you have a small travel trailer. Then they got group camping back here. We're not going to go back to that. This is the last row. So I've stayed back here before in C19. It's a pretty level site. And it's next to the bathhouse, so it can get a little noisy at night. And being close to the bathhouse, you get a lot of people cutting through your campsites. So, yeah, it's a little short, but if you just got a truck camper, it works out pretty well. These all got concrete bumpers behind them, so you can't really back off the gravel any. So we got a little teardrop camper right here. Let that fit in there pretty nice. Anyways, there's some sites right here. Let's see what numbers those are. C16. I don't know if I'm going the wrong way or not. I don't think I am. C15, they're on the end. Is that a map of the campground?
Yeah.
They got one of those over there at the store? I was just talking to a man there he's over in the generator section and he's wanting to move. He's in a tent and a big old motorhome pulled in next to him. And he said that they told him in the office that they had to turn these generators off at 8 o'clock here. So be aware of that. Be courteous to your neighbors. I know where I'm at, a couple of nights the generator's been running to about 10 o'clock or 9:30 at least. So they're on the Eastern time zone here, so I don't think that's an excuse. We're going to come over here and check out these end cap sites that are on the ends. I'm going to go up here and turn around and drive back out so you can see that. I'm probably going to take the camera off the hood of my truck and hand hold it. So then go back to the group camping and turn around. So you have to register for this. They do have gates, so I bet it's closed at times, especially during the winter time. So we're going to head on back here to the group camping real quick. Look at it. I don't know what qualifies you as group camping, and we'll find out. Oh, so it looks to me like there's no all the parking is like on the side of the road. You just kind of pull off the side of the road, and all these sites are gravel back here. There's no concrete in the group area. They do have a bathhouse back here though. It looks like a bathhouse. They do have one of those back here. It's a small one. I think it's a bathhouse. I'm not sure what that is. But you're right close to the picnic area at the main entrance. So that's another thing to consider. You got to go across the creek to get to it though. So we're gonna get out of here. Yeah, so group camping means you've got to park in designated spots, and looks like they got tent platforms. There is a great big picnic pavilion back here. Anyways, I just wanted to come back here and turn around. Never been back to the group camping area, so that's a consideration if you got a large group, I guess. Pretty primitive though, back there. So we're going back out to the C section. Okay, we're gonna go by these sites here that I didn't get to show you. There is a 15-mile-an-hour speed limit. So this is C21, and it's a pretty nice site. I should have done this for all the sites. And then this is C22, it's a short site, probably good for a tent camper. So that's 2 at the end of this row. And then we have C23, that's barely enough room to get a camper in. That's a nice camper, a Winnie a mini drop, Winnie drop, and a casita camper there, C24. So you can probably put a 16-foot camper in there in C24. And C25, probably the same thing. It's pretty level site. So those are the sites on the ends of the row in the C row. So that was the drive-through of the C section, non-generator, in the Cades Cove Campground in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. I hope that gave you a pretty good overview of what it looks like at those campsites and helps you make your decision. I don't know if they got an A section or not, but I am going to stop at the office and get a map of the place. I'm going to mark the sites tomorrow that I want to put down on my favorite list. And I suggest you do the same thing. Get yourself a plot map, a site map from the campground registration office, and they are closed. I'll have to get one tomorrow. They are closed. Oh well, I'll have to do that tomorrow.